Dear learners, today we are discussing the concept of mechanics. Unit in this mechanic is Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Dear learners, good afternoon one and all. Today we discuss first unit mechanics from physics, paper first, and in this unit we are interested in Kepler's law of planetary motion. Good morning, dear learners. Today we are interested in first unit, namely mechanics from physics for BSc first year. In this unit, again we are discussing about Kepler's laws of planetary motion. Here, Johannes Kepler photograph I have added for your knowledge point of view. Born on 27th December 1571 in Germany. He studied the planetary motion of Mars. He described the orbits of planets around the Sun. He has completed master's degree in University of Tübingen. He came from poor Protestant family. Kepler realized that Mars moves in an ellipse around the Sun. He has presented his first two laws of planetary motion in 1609. Now let us turn towards our actual syllabus. Kepler's first law of planetary motion. Kepler's first law. Planets move in elliptical orbits with the Sun at one focus of the ellipse. See. Here this figure shows a circle and this one shows what? Ellipse. I mean, nature of the ellipse is how it has two axes. One is major axis and the another one is minor. In case of circle, all axes are equal in length. But here, horizontal one is major and vertical one here, for example, it is what? Minor one. Such a elliptical path is to be adopted by the planets. So according to the first law, planets move in elliptical orbits with Sun at its focus. Here it is Sun. There are two foci, singular focus. Sun at one focus here. This is said to be major axis, and here it is not drawn, minor axis. So you remember, there are two foci. 2 points are there equidistant from the center on major axis. Suppose this is center, then this focus and this focus, they are equidistant. So there are total 2 foci for this ellipse. And planets move in elliptical orbits with Sun at one focus of the ellipse. Kepler's second law. See, a line from the Sun to the planet sweeps out equal areas in equal times. That is, planets do not move at constant speed. For example, I'll show you here line. Suppose this is a line. Whenever planet moves, it sweeps equal area in equal interval of time. What it indicates? It indicates that the planets do not move at constant speed. I mean, speed varies. See here. Here there are three regions shown. This area you see, this area you see, this area you see. Such areas are equal in equal interval of time. I mean, planet moves or sweeps. Suppose this is a line. This line sweeps equal areas like A, B and C in equal intervals of time. This is about your second law. I mean, line from the sun to a planet, these are said to be laws of areas. Line from the sun to the planet sweeps with equal areas in equal interval of time. Secondly, a planet moves through equal area of space in equal amount of time. Here you see there are 2 points, perihelion and aphelion. Perihelion is closest to the sun and aphelion is farthest from the sun. Now here very interesting thing is what? When planet is in perihelion, its orbital velocity increases. See perihelion. Here orbital velocity of the planet increases from perihelion. What happens from aphelion? When the planet is in aphelion, its orbital velocity decreases. This point you remember. So because perihelion is closest to the sun and aphelion is the farthest, I mean at a longer distance from the sun. That's why whenever a planet is in perihelion, its orbital velocity increases, whereas when a planet is in aphelion, its orbital velocity decreases. See here there are some planets shown here in figure. You know solar system. In solar system, here sun is there and these are the various planets. The nearest planet to sun is Mercury, second one is Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune and so on. If we think about these planets and their distance from the sun, Mercury is what? Nearer. I mean distance from the sun is less. Venus more than Mercury. Earth more than Mercury and Venus. And if we compare Mars and Earth, distance of sun from the Mars or distance of Mars from the sun is more compared to the distance of Earth from the sun. That's why what happens? That's why we say that the farther planet is from the focus, the longer the period of revolution. Carefully observe. These are the laws of periods. If the planet is away from the focus, farther, the longer the period of revolution. It takes more period for its revolution. For example, Earth is closer than Jupiter. Therefore, Earth has a shorter period of revolution compared to Jupiter. So, in short, you remember, farther a planet from the focus, the longer the period of revolution. Now, let's turn to Kepler's third law of planetary motion. Actually, Kepler's third law of planetary motion, it gives the relation, I mean mathematical relation, to describe the motion of the planets around the sun. Its statement is shown here. In short, it is given here, bracket is there given, period of bracket, it is actually a square we want, period of orbit, its square directly proportional to semi major axis, and its what, 3 is in the sense it is a cube of the major axis. Its statement now states that this, in short, it is written. Now actual statement is what? The squares of orbital periods of the planets. The squares of orbital periods of the planets are directly proportional to the cubes of semi-major axes of their orbits. For example, semi-major axis is small a, orbital period of the planet is p, then symbolically it can be written as p square is directly proportional to a cube. Here this period and the semi-major axis of the orbits are dependent quantities. These two quantities are proportional. Then we insert a proportionality constant k. It depends upon the units for p and a, and we get an equation p square is equal to ka cube. This is the mathematical equation for Kepler's third law of planetary motion, where k is what? Proportionality constant. Here already we have seen the farther planet is from the focus, the longer the period of revolution. That is, Earth is closer than Sun, closer to the Sun than Jupiter. Therefore, the Earth has a shorter period of revolution compared to the planet Jupiter. Now, using third law, p square is directly proportional to a cube. Therefore, p square is equal to ka cube, where k is already we have seen it is a constant number. We can find k if p is expressed in terms of years and a is in terms of the distance between Sun and Earth. This distance is called as I. This is called as astronomical unit or IAU. Substituting these values, we obtain p cube is equal to ka cube, in the sense 1 cube is equal to k into 1 cube, where k is equal to 1. We find the units of p and k. K is equal to 1. Therefore, we use to write equation p square is equal to 1a cube, in the sense p square is equal to a cube, where p is in years and a is in astronomical unit. Now, Kepler's laws. Example: an asteroid is found and its orbital semi-major axis about the Sun is 4 AU. What is the period of its orbit around the Sun? This is the question to us. Now let us see its solution. According to Kepler's third law of planetary motion, p square is equal to a cube, where p is in years and a is in astronomical unit. A is given to us 4 AU. P square is equal to a cube, formula you know, equation you know. Therefore, p square is equal to 4 cube. 4 into 4 into 4, it is what? 64. So answer is 64. Here, so its square root if we take, 4 p square is equal to what? 64. Therefore, its square root is what we said? 8. Therefore, p is equal to 8 years. In this way, we can obtain the period of revolution of a planet in years if we know a, that is in astronomical units. Such a questions may be asked in examination about sometimes period is given, we have to find out a, or sometimes a will be given, it is expected to find out p. So here whatever may be question, depending upon the nature of the question, we put the values and apply this formula, Newton's Kepler's third law of planetary motion, and you can obtain either p or a depending upon nature of the question. Thank you.